Hey, what's going on? It's your girl, Lady B.
And DJ Touchtone.
We are here today with a very personal request. The story we're about to share is about a man, a walking angel in our eyes, if you will. His name is Mr. Joe Wilson. He used to be a bus driver for SEPTA, but now he is retired. I met Mr. Joe about 10 years ago, Touch.
It was about
2009.
Yeah, about
right?
2009, yeah.
He called my show because he wanted to sing happy birthday to his daughter. And he was in the hospital. He wanted to sing it on the radio. So I gave him the opportunity, not knowing this would be the beginning of a very long and dear friendship. I then received a phone call from a woman who wanted to find Mr. Joe. Why? Because her fiance had a terrible accident, and Mr. Joe jumped off his bus to go help this man, and he ended up dying right there with Mr. Joe, and she wanted to thank him for not allowing her fiance to
just lay
there alone.
Yeah.
And then I received a phone call from a couple who also wanted to find Mr. Joe because their daughter was having an epileptic seizure. And what did Mr. Joe do? He got off the bus and saved this little girl when everyone else walked by. And then I received a phone call from a young lady who said that her boyfriend was beating her up in front of their 2-year-old child, and Mr. Joe came to her rescue, removed her from the home, put her in an apartment, paid the rent for 2 months, and just walked away.
Walked off, yeah.
And she didn't know how to thank him. So now I'm saying to myself, what kind of angel did I run across? Who does all this for so many people? And then I received a letter from a gentleman who owned a barbershop. And the letter stated that, Lady B, I am writing you to say I'm sorry because I would sit around my shop, me and my boys, and laugh about you, talking about Mr. Joe, and we didn't think anybody could be that perfect, and there was no way this man could have helped all these people. Well, the letter stated that their friend had a motorcycle accident on the Platte Bridge, and who saved his life?
Mr. Joe.
Mr. Joe, the bus driver. I could go on and on and on and on with testimonies and stories about how this man has reached out to help any family in need at a really hard time. If you are watching this video and you suffered a loss or your child got killed by violence, I am so sure that you have met this man. He walked up to your door as a stranger, offering his help.
Yeah. My take on Mr. Joe is earlier this year, my cousin hung himself due to bullying in school. Yeah. And he was right there and helped out my cousin and her family during her time of need.
Yeah. I am wearing a t-shirt from the Jarrell Say Foundation. This is a couple who have started an organization because their son was killed Easter Sunday some years ago on their doorstep, and that is how they met Mr. Joe. So they are teaming up with me to raise money for Mr. Joe's medical bills. I never knew why Mr. Joe was in the hospital, but come to find out, he jumped in front of a bullet and saved a little girl's life. And he has been in and out of the hospital for the last 10 years because of this. And now he's very ill. He doesn't have great medical insurance, and his medicine comes to a whopping $70 a week. And it's very hard for him to afford it. He's a very prideful man. He doesn't want to ask for your help, but I'm asking for him. I am throwing a fundraiser for him December the 10th at Illusions from 4 until 8. That's Illusions on Baltimore Pike. Tickets are only $20. I ask that you come and buy a ticket, even if you can't come.
Still support.
Please support this man and all that he has done for the city and people who are in need. He truly, truly deserves all of our help. I got through that without crying, Touch. I'm so proud of myself. So yes, he's my friend. I've adopted him as a dad. He is Mr. Joe Wilson, the bus driver. If he has touched your life, contact me because I want to hear your testimony as well. So look out for my GoFundMe page. I'm going to start today, and help me help a walking angel. Enough said, right, Touch?
Enough said.
Enough enough said. We love you, Mr. Joe.